2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. And the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid.
Good day, everyone. As you know, I drive truck. We all have our own opinions, concerns, fears, thoughts about the vaccine. Whether you've got it, whether you don't, I got a serious question for everyone. Something you're really going to need to think about. Because this is going to affect you, whether you want it to or not. Regardless of your status on the vaccine. You all know I drive truck. And I cross the border from Canada to the U.S., U.S. to Canada. Everything you have, everything you eat, everything you touch, everything you wear, everything in your house, everything you go to the store for, and odds are almost everything you have at work, all showed up on the back of what I drive. Come January, they're throwing a new loop in there. Everybody crossing the border in a truck, they want to have the vaccine, and a lot of us don't, and a lot of us are not getting it. They're going to be parking a lot of trucks come next month. You may not think that's going to affect you. 15% of the trucks on the road shut down, can't get across the border, can't haul the product. It's going to affect you more than you realize. 15% is all it's going to take. Distribution centers aren't going to get their stuff out. Lumber's not going to show up. Again, everything. Including the grass that's in your backyard. At one point, usually came on a truck. Seeds for the stuff you grow in your backyard if you're preparing for this. Unless you picked them up off a friend that picked them up off the ground, they showed up at the store on a truck. Toilet paper. We've already gone through that. Trucks aren't going to be rolling come next month. This is the government doing this, not the drivers. We don't want to shut down. We don't want to park. We want to keep working. We've been working non-stop through this, day in, day out, 24/7. Hell, I'm lucky to get 2-3 days a month to myself to do my own damn laundry. And then I'm out there trucking. When we shut down, it's going to affect you. Stores are going to run out within days. Distribution centers aren't going to get product in, let alone get it out. Stuff's going to be going bad, get thrown away. You're not going to have the stuff you need for your day-to-day life. A lot of you aren't going to be going to work because there's going to be nothing at work for you to work with. No product to put in, no product to put out. You won't be able to get anything. It's going to affect you one way or another, or in many ways that you don't want it to. This is the government doing this, not us. We want to keep working. You stop and think about that, because if we park, so does your life. And it's going to happen within days. And it's going to affect you. All of you, no matter who you are. And it's going to happen fast. You can thank the federal government, both Canada and the U.S. for this, not the guys driving the trucks.
If trucks stopped 24 hours, delivery of medical supplies to the affected area will cease. Hospitals will run out of basic supplies. Service stations will begin to run out of fuel. Manufacturers using just-in-time manufacturing will develop component shortages. U.S. mail and other package delivery will cease. Within one day, food shortages will begin to develop. Automobile fuel availability and delivery will dwindle, leading to skyrocketing prices and long lines at gas pumps, as we've been seeing as of lately. After 2 to 3 days, food shortages will escalate, especially in the face of hoarding and consumer panic. Supplies of essentials such as bottled water, potted milk, and canned meat at major retailers will disappear. ATMs will run out of cash and banks will be unable to process transactions. Hence the reason why we will see massive runs on banks. Service stations will completely run out of fuel. The garbage will start piling up in urban and suburban areas. Container ships will sit idle in ports and rail transport be disrupted, eventually coming to a standstill. 1 week after, automobile travel will cease due to the lack of fuel. Hospitals will begin to exhaust oxygen supplies, and after 2 weeks, clean water supply will begin to run dry. And after the fourth week, the nation's clean water supply will be exhausted.
This is Dabu7. It truly looks like this food apocalypse has begun and is underway. For anyone living under a rock, it is on. And for people out there that go into one store and say, everything looks good in my town because they went into one store, they have a rude awakening coming as well. Many areas that were reporting here for the past couple months that everything seemed fine, that's not the case anymore. From New York down to Texas over to California, each and every state has people reporting in now, and I'm getting it en masse. And we have multiple issues that are going on. I mean, we can look here at images across the board that are flooding in constantly of people saying the same thing, whether it's bread, noodle, meat, rice. It just doesn't matter. Edible oils, this is the newest. They hit a record high here. And guess who is the number one importer of all this? China and India. Yeah, the same China that is hoarding almost half of the world's grain supply right now. That China. Same China that's marching all over the world, non-stop, doing whatever they want, connected to all these atrocities, yet no one's calling them out. No one is stopping them. And whoever's in that White House seems to have bended a knee. We ain't having this. If you guys are going to sit back and watch your country go down the tubes, that is on you. Other people are going to make moves. And when they make these moves and things happen and maybe even they die, oh well, some people checked out of here in a legendary tip, riding for what they believed in, instead of sitting on that ass doing nothing, watching this whole thing get swept away. So, what are you doing? Just waiting for it to hit your grocery store before you make a move? A smart person, a wise person, would see that this is happening far and wide, even if their grocery store was stocked. And they would be making moves, seeing what is coming around the corner. That's why we put this information out there, to hopefully save lives and to keep people prepared. But to be honest with you, after a decade of telling you to get ready, getting ready time is over. You either have a plan and you implement it from here, or I don't even know what to tell you, because you sat around doing nothing all this time. For everyone that says, oh, I can't, I had no way, garbage. I come from the gutter. Where there's a will, there's a way. And if you want to survive, you will. If you don't want to, then you won't. I'll leave a link. Join me for the live streams where I air this stuff out censorship free. And hit that subscribe button for more. You'll also find me posting on Twitter and Getter. Links below.
Family. The University of Massachusetts Amherst is the place to pursue dreams, to explore.
This is Dabu7. Again, looking at the bare shelves across the country. This time, it has become a major trend. The hashtag itself, bare shelves Biden, taking off here in the past 24 hours, still trending into today. And we've been talking about the empty shelves across the board. The last video that I put out talking about this was showing in multiple states, from coast to coast, items going bare. And you're talking about just about everything in every sector. And what they're doing is they're taking items and they're putting them up in the aisles repeatedly, like lawn chairs like we've seen, and other items, trying to fill the gaps and give this illusion like the store's not empty. But people are responding. As we take a look here, just scrolling through some of the latest imagery, this right here is Utah. This is the pet food aisle, and this is in Washington. And this is what I hear a lot of. Pet food has disappeared across the board. PA, you can see this. Now, you would think a person that has common sense, when they see this, when they see that all these people are reporting back, that even if they walk in a store near them and it has food in it, that they would have a plan. Pretty naive to think that it's not going to catch up to you at some point when you see all these shelves across the country absolutely going bare. But it's trending en masse. This is Wisconsin, a Walmart. This keeps going on and on and on and on and on. And all I could say is I hope the people are going to be implementing a plan to grow their own food this year, in the spring, and that there's lessons to be learned from all this. This may continue to get worse from here, but people are noticing, people are waking up, and people are sharing what they're seeing out there. So a thank you to all of you that are sending information in my way. You can send info to me, dabu7@yahoo.com. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, on Getter, and hit that subscribe button for more as well. Much love, y'all.
The squeeze will only continue to get tighter, no matter the cause or circumstances. Again, this is 2 Ezra chapter 6, verse 22. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Shalom, all praises, blessings, glories, and honors be unto Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Bahashim Racha Kodash. Double honors to my apostles and elders of Great Millstone who have told me this truth, as well of men of like mind. Shalom wa chasad, which means peace and mercy to the elect of the nation of Israel, whom you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and Israelite foreigners of the seedline of our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, whom are scattered here in America, which is Babylon the Great, and abroad. To you I say Shalom and Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai Radazah. This lesson is edifying. This is just a brief in the news update as to what's been going on in the news. And again, the squeeze will only continue to get tighter. Things will only continue to get turned up, because this is the year of Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai turning up. Scripture says, because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their goods for the lack of bread, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. In 2 Ezra 6, verse 22 again, and suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. All these sown farmlands, storehouses, convenience stores, supermarkets are going to appear unsown, as if they've never ever been supplied or resupplied. They're going to appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Because right now people are hoarding, but they're not showing that on the news. Right now people are buying a lot of things up, even stealing a lot of things, because only some see and understand that there's a famine on the horizon. But the majority are going to be left in the dark and suffer. When the trumpet shall give a sound, and right now the trumpet, which is the scriptures, is giving a sound, and shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? And when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. And only the elect of the nation of Israel will take heed to the sound of the trumpet that's being blown, and be afraid, and cleave unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. But as for 2/3, they're going to be screwed. Especially when the Lord shoots the evil arrows of famine upon them, breaking their staffs of bread. Ezekiel chapter 5, verse 16, when I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and which I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and will break your staff of bread. No work, no jobs, nothing to sustain yourselves nor your families. So will I send upon you famine and evil beast, and they shall berave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, the Lord Yahweh, have spoken it. And so Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, have spoken it. And so it will happen. The Lord will send the evil arrows of famine upon 2/3 of the nation of Israel that will seek peace, but will be unable to find any. Ezekiel chapter 7 verse 25, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest, and counsel from the ancients. And so they won't find the true men of the Lord in the time of Jacob's trouble, when there will be famine. But they'll only find and run after men such as T.D. Jakes, false prophets like T.D. Jakes, Creflo Dollar, and the list goes on. Al Sharpton, false leaders of our people that have been always causing them to err, and that will ultimately lead them to their destruction. They're going to be had in derision. They're going to be in confusion. Last scripture, 2nd Ezra, chapter 15, verse 19. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods, take all their goods, all their food. Just like in movies such as The Book of Eli, The Road. Watch those movies if you haven't already, because of the lack of bread, famine, and for great tribulation. So all these things coming. All these things are coming. And so the warning has been sent out to the nation of Israel. And so with that, I pray this lesson was edifying and brief and concise and informative. Lord's willing, until the next I say shalom to the elect.